Hi everyone, and welcome to Demystifying the CJEP Experience. My name is Giovanna Arcuri, and I'm the External Liaison Officer at Vanier College. So my face might be familiar to some of you, as I'm the main recruiter going to all of the high schools recruiting new students to Vanier College. I'm accompanied here by Marlene Grossman, who is a teacher at Vanier College.
Hi everybody, I'm a psychology teacher. I also coordinate a high school outreach program. That's what we call it here. In your high schools it could be called Lunch and Learn. And we do that with Learn Quebec, and this was started in 2014. Learn approached all the different CJEPs to see if we could help with the bridging of the gap between high school and CJEP. And so Vanier really took up that task, and we've been performing that ever since, and it's going really well. So if you're interested, the next one is on Wednesday, tomorrow, at 12 o'clock, sorry, 11:45 if you're interested. So I'm going to turn it back over to Giovanna.
So during this session, we're going to be giving a virtual tour of the college and going to certain areas that we feel are important for students learning. If you've never used Facebook Live before, just so you know, you are able to comment on this video if you have any questions, and we can answer them in real time. So here's a little background knowledge about the application process. Vanier College is part of the SRAM system. So the way that works is there are 3 rounds. If students are refused first round, they have second and third round to apply to a new program or CJEP that is part of the SRAM system. So I do suggest, if you are applying to Vanier and to another CJEP, make sure they are not part of SRAM, as you cannot apply to 2 programs part of SRAM at the same time. So we will be speaking to Academic Advisor Mark Pasucci, who is here right now. If you have any questions, please comment right now. I actually received a question earlier today about student athletes who travel, and Mark will speak to you about our Alliance Sport-Études program.
Hello everyone, hi, my name is Mark Pasucci. I'm an academic advisor here at Vanier College. I help students both in graduation requirements that they need to finish off programs, and as well as prerequisites that they actually need to get into programs here at the college and in university. So to answer a question, Joanna, do you want to answer the question now, or should I?
You can answer it now.
Okay, so with regards to Sport-Études programs, we do actually have a Sport-Études program. So for students who are interested in Sport-Études, you would apply to both the Association of Sport-Études and to Vanier College. So once you do that on SRAM for Vanier College and the Association Sport-Études, you will then be given responses from both institutions. You need to be accepted in both institutions, and then you can actually start your studies here at Vanier College. Now, the Sport-Études program at Vanier College is very interesting. It's basically student-centered, so we basically make sure that students who have a very rigorous schedule in their sport are given some accommodations and some preferential registration time, so that they can actually have a schedule that will match their very rigorous training sessions. So for example, students who are in Sport-Études who require to have mornings free so that they can actually train for their sport can actually try to work out a schedule that will match their training sessions. So we do that by having students registered a little bit earlier than most students, so that they're able to actually configure a schedule to match their training schedule. So we also make sure that students are well supported, and we notify teachers who are in the Sport-Études program that students will need some special accommodations with regards to actually entering, with regards to whether it's exams or if it's research papers, some extensions that have to be done, that can be done with the teacher as well. That's part of the program. So that, in a nutshell, is the Sport-Études program.
So you can go into like
Pre-use. Okay, we also have pre-university programs. So students who are considering university programs have an opportunity to register for either social science or science programs, as well as languages, liberal arts, communications, and music programs as well, that basically prepare students to attend university programs. So they're able to basically, after 2 years, apply to a university program, whether it be in a medical program or in an undergraduate program. We prepare students for these types of programs. We also have 3-year career programs. at the college. The 3-year career programs are designed to help students get into a career and basically to prepare them for the workforce. However, we have seen recently, in addition to preparing students for the workforce, a lot of students have also opted for actually going off to study in university, and they can actually do that with 3-year programs. At Vanier, we do help students at times register for the required prerequisite courses that they actually need to get into those 3-year university programs in university. So that is something, part of the programs that we do offer. We also offer transition and exploration programs. So there are cases where students at times will require some prerequisite courses in order for them to actually get into a particular 3-year career program here at Vanier, or if they're trying to get into a science program, which would prepare them again for medical programs or engineering programs or other programs in university. So the transition program is a 2-semester program, and it's designed for those students who did not have the opportunity to complete both math and science courses at the high school level. So they come to Vanier, they basically are registered in courses that have the math and the science and the chemistry courses that they were not able to register in high school, and they can complete the courses here. If they do get the grades, then they're able to get into the required programs that they need to get into university and the career programs. So that, in a nutshell, are the Vanier programs. I think I've mentioned most of them. We also have, catch my breath here, we also have the double deck programs as well. So there are a lot of double deck programs that students may find interesting for both music and science programs, as well as social science and commerce, as well as we also have the languages and music program as well. These double deck programs are actually designed to have students complete disciplines that are as well, complete a program that has both 2 disciplines or 2 areas of study that they're interested in. We also have a shared bilingual, if I can say bilingual, I'll say actually a French-English shared deck with Saint Laurent. And that is both for science and social science students. So if you are interested in attending Vanier College and you're not sure of maybe being in an English environment or in a French environment, well, you could actually partition it between the 2 CEGEPs. Just next door is CEGEP Saint Laurent, and you're actually able to register for courses at both Vanier and Saint Laurent. There is a particular course list, a course load that you would follow, and you would be able to benefit from 2 different institutions, giving you both a French and English culture right here in Ville Saint Laurent, Montreal. And I think that is the gist of it.
I saw a question come in.
Okay, great.
Let me just see if you can answer that. I think it came up at the top. Okay. I'm only writing a comment. I can't see the comments. Okay. Well, thank you, Mark.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Karen.
And so when should a student go see an academic advisor?
Great question. Students usually go see academic advising if they have graduation requirement questions. In other words, they're not exactly sure what courses they may still need to graduate. If they're unsure of a particular complementary course or general education course that they need, or if there's a problem with their program courses, if at times they may need a reduced load, then you should see an advisor so that they can actually help you with the course sequencing and the course planning so that you can actually maybe recover the course in a subsequent semester. Students will also come to advising to find out what the university prerequisites are, or at times prerequisites for 3-year programs here within the college. So oftentimes students are in a program that they have decided to actually change programs. Well, advising will actually help them with trying to try to figure out the prerequisites and the procedures that they need to get into a new program here at the college or at any other college or as well at university.
Okay, thank you so much, Mark.
You're welcome.
So we will continue on our journey around Vanier College, and we're going to be going to the music program now. So let's go on our way. If you want.
It's up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, this way. Sorry. Okay, so our music programs, as Mark mentioned, are also offered as double decks. They are offered with science, with social science, and with languages and cultures. We have a question from Mon Aquino. Oh, Mark, maybe you can answer this one.
Sure.
Can you please elaborate what is the difference between explorations passages and explorations prerequisites?
Oh, go ahead, Marlene. Would you
Oh,
like to?
Marlene wants to answer that. Okay, let's keep walking. Let's keep
I
walking.
used to coordinate explorations, so I feel like I can actually answer this one fairly well. So we have a few different types of explorations. One is passages. One is prerequisites. I'll just talk about those two because when you enter Vanier, those would be the two that we talk about. So passages is basically for students who might not have done amazing in high school for whatever the reason. And so we give them the opportunity to sort of do better, okay? So that's passages. Prerequisites is if you were missing some math, science credits to get into either science or pre-university or a career program. And this gives you the opportunity to take those courses to then further on your education. Mark, did you have anything else you wanted to
No,
add?
that is exactly right. The prerequisites and passages programs are built for that integration and transition for students. Thank you, Marlene.
Thank you, Mark.
This is kind of neat.
So we're still on our way to our music program. We have some students in a jam session at the moment, so we're going to hear them play. Oh, we have another question. So if my son does not have the opportunity to do the chem and physics class in grade 11, is there an option of doing those classes in the summer?
No, actually, unfortunately, that would not be possible because students still don't have their high school diploma completed. So in these cases, it would be best to actually apply to a transition program to see whether or not you can get into that program. In some cases, if students don't get accepted into a transition program, the alternative is to maybe go into a general social science program. And again, it's a little bit harder, but we do actually help students or try to help students get the specific prerequisite course that they might actually need to get into their program. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So we've arrived at music, I
Yeah,
think.
so this is where we are for music. So I don't know if you hear the music, but we'll go in and hear them play. Oh wait, it's
Try
a push.
again.
It's a push door.
Try again.
Those were our music students. So we had a few more questions come in actually.
Okay.
So an AEC at Vanier, and if you have completed 1 year in another college, what will it take to get a deck in music specifically? This is a music question.
It's a music question.
Yeah.
So what was the question again?
AEC at Vanier, if you have completed 1 year in another college, what will it take to get a deck in music specifically?
Okay, so an attestation at
Yeah.
Vanier, if you have completed 1 year in another college, what will it take to get a deck? Well, it's the attestation courses, if I understand this correctly, they've completed the attestation at Vanier 1 year and then want to get a deck at, you've completed 1 year in another college. Okay, so what we normally do in those cases, you're still potentially looking at a 2-year program. If it's a 3-year program, It might still be a 3-year program. However, you may be entitled to some credit equivalences for the attestations or substitutions. But that would have to be, every case is different, so we would have to actually review the file and see what we can actually give from the attestation in the actual music program. So it requires the music department to assess the courses and to see what can actually be used. So I think that's answering the question.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
We also got another question about Vanier Television. It came from Vanier College. This is probably one of the admins trying to advertise. I see you. So Vanier Television is our online social network. We record videos, well, not like this, but videos with students about events, and there's certain things that happen at Vanier, and they're posted to our social media pages. And students are involved. There are reporters, there are videographers, there are editors, so they get a lot of experience in the field of media for those who are interested. And it's a great volunteer opportunity for students. And well, we're all over social media, so you can probably find our link somewhere on the Vanier College page right now. It's actually at Vanier VTV for those of you who want to search for us. We have another question. Please explain the R score. I attended CEGEP before that came in. What is it, and what does it mean for pre-university? Mark?
Yes. The R score is it's something that will assess the student's performance at the CEGEP, and it's used as a university admissions averages technically. It takes into several things into consideration. The Z score as well measures the strength of the group. That's where high school sections also come into play, or high school students, or their performance in high school could have somewhat of an impact. But in large part, once you get to the college, your R score is determined by way of the section that you're currently in. So it checks to see how strong the section that you're in, and it compares you to your section as well. So that, and again, the actual R score is tabulated by the ministry. It's not by the CEGEP. So every semester we have an update to the R score, and students are given a new R score for that particular semester, and that would be their current R score. We have a lot of information on R scores on the advising website. So if you go to vaniercollege.qc.ca/advising, you'll see that there is a link to the R score, which has several documents there that you might find interesting to read. So there's again, it's not to be too concerned about the R score. It's more about the CEGEP experience, and if you do well, then you'll be fine.
Thank you, Mark. It's a good thing you came on this journey with us. So we're on our way to student services, but just before we're stopping by it's part of student services, but it's the Indigenous Circle. So here, I'll show you what it looks like. So Vanier College is a very multicultural place. We have students coming from all over, from different backgrounds, from different areas. So this is a resource center for students of Indigenous backgrounds. So there's a section in there, and so there's a lot of activities that are organized according to different types of ethnicities and backgrounds. So for example, we just celebrated Chinese New Year last week. And we're currently in Black History Month, so there's a lot of different types of events happening at the college in honor of these nationalities. So let's make our way to student services.
Okay, so maybe we should just talk about the fact whenever you're taking, no matter what program you end up in, everybody has to take general education courses. And what is that? It basically is your English, your French, your humanities, and your phys eds. So everybody has to take those. They're part of what you have to do to succeed. It's the ministry that regulates that. So you basically take, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, 4 Englishes, 3 humanities, 2 French, and 3 phys eds?
3 phys eds,
3
yeah.
phys eds.
And 2 complementaries.
And 2 complementaries, which complementary basically is a course that's outside of your program. So if you're in social science and you take an art course, that's a complementary, for example. Okay? We're here at Student Services.
So this is Student Services. I'll give you a scan of the room because it's really beautiful and recently renovated. And there's Sarah.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi guys, how are you doing today?
So this is Student Services. So Sarah, tell me what Student Services does.
We do a lot of things at the college. So there's 4 main things that we do for students. However, we're also a resource for students. So in general, if anyone has any questions, this is where a lot of students come to ask for information and find where they need to go. The 4 main things that we deal with in this office that you see right here is counseling for students, which includes both career counseling and personal counseling, financial aid, our school nurse, and also the Access for Students with Disabilities Center. So I'll go through them in order. So for counseling, like I said, we have both career counseling and personal counseling. Career counseling is for the students who are in a program and aren't sure where they want to go or aren't sure where their strengths lie and what they might want to do later in life. Our career counselor can help them look at their aptitudes and also help them look at what they want to do in the future. Our personal counselors are there for students for everything that happens in a student's life, whether it's academic, personal, some sort of crisis that's happened. All the time we have counselors here every single day of the week. I myself am a drop-in worker, so I'm a social work technician who meets with students first, and I help them figure out what's going on and help refer them to appropriate resources. The counselors are there for more long-term support and follow-up and can also help refer students where they need to go whenever there's a difficulty that they're having at school. For financial aid, we have our lovely Jim Atkinson, who couldn't be here this evening. He's the financial aid officer for Vanier, and he's a person for all questions related to the Quebec Loan and Bursaries program, any emergency financial aid that the college can offer, and all sorts of things related to funding schooling at Vanier, because school can be expensive, and that's why we like to have resources to help. We also have our nurse here, who's here 4 days a week. We're very lucky, he's been with us for a long time. His name is John Atkins. He's here for every student and all their physical health needs while they're on campus. So for example, if they need some sort of basic medication like Tylenol or Advil, he's able to dispense that. He can also do prescriptions for certain things. He's able to meet with students to go over their health concerns. If they get injured on campus or they have a friend who get injured on campus, they can bring him down here. And John, they both have nearly the same last name, I apologize, is here 4 days a week to meet with students. We're also super lucky that we're centrally located, and there's actually a CLSC just a block down the road, which is where John works the other day of the week, and there's a whole team of nurses there as well that students can access during the day. So that's our nursing. And finally, access for students with disabilities. So here at Vanier, as in every other CEGEP, we do have an office for students who have a diagnosed condition, whether it's a mental health condition, a physical health condition, that affects their academics. So any student who has a registered diagnosis that's been confirmed by a doctor can come by student services and look at getting accommodations in their courses, which could include things like extra time, having a quiet place to do exams, looking at strategies in order to better work in the classroom, if there's a teacher who's not respecting anything. Those are all times where students can come and use the Access Center. And if students have any questions, they can always come down and ask about it, figure out what they need to get accommodations, and make sure that they have the best experience they have at Vanier. One thing to mention about Access is that it is very fact specific. So if ever you do have any questions, the place to email would be access@vaniercollege.qc.ca. You can also find the email on the website if you Google Access, and they'll be able to make sure your email gets to the right person who can answer any of your questions about that.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. So we did get a question actually about student services. Is an appointment needed for student career counseling, or are you open on the weekends too?
Okay, so I'll answer in 2 parts. So first, there's a drop-in counselor, which is myself, for any sort of basic inquiries. However, for career counseling, which is usually an hour-long session with the career counselor who has an education in guidance counseling, that you need an appointment for. It's super simple to get an appointment. You can get it right at the reception desk here. The second half of the question, we are not open on the weekends. We're only open Monday to Friday. So if you have anything on the weekends, you'd have to go either to a CLSC or your local emergency room for anything like that.
Okay. Another question, I believe this is for Access.
Yep.
Do they need doctor info released to the school, or is the coding an IEP form?
Okay. So an IEP can be helpful. However, if it's in an IEP, it's not considered a diagnosis from a doctor. So it needs to be something that has either a doctor or someone who's able to diagnose whatever condition is being spoken about. For example, ADHD is something that can also be diagnosed by a neuropsychologist, so that we would accept as well. If you have questions about an individual situation or questions about documentation, that would be what you send to the Access Center because it has to be verified on a case-by-case basis.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. I don't know if there's any more questions coming in. Send them now.
Forever hold your peace.
Yeah, because Sarah will be leaving now. But if you do have questions about student services, they can email students at, right?
Yep, so the email for us is students@vaniercollege.qc.ca. And again, same thing for Access. If you have any questions, send them over and we'll make sure it gets to the right person to help you answer what's going on.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys for stopping by. Have a great evening.
Okay, so where to next?
We're going up to the gallery, I think.
Yes, exactly. So we'll
Wanna
take
go up
those
this way?
stairs. Yep. So we're going to go up to the Henry Lehman Gallery, and we have a student from the communications program who is going to speak to you about it. In the meantime, we want to ask, out of curiosity, where is everybody tuning in from? Are you from remote locations, or are you more from the city, residential areas near Saint Laurent or North Shore, South Shore? You can comment now with your information.
Also, just wanted to mention some other differences between CEGEP and high school. Here, the schedule of your day really changes. So you choose your own schedule, and some days it might be that you take one class, some days you may take none. Some classes you might be jam-packed. Some days you might have a lunch period, other days not so much. So it really varies from day to day. And when you start, when you finish, it's all sort of changes from day to day. As opposed to high school, you start at, let's say, 8:30 or 9 and go through to 3 every day. It's not the same anymore. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, that's good. That's a pretty good day in the life of a student. So yeah, everyone's schedule is pretty much different here. So you choose your classes. Basically, you choose your schedules, when you want to start, when you want to finish. I'm getting a lot of comments now. So we have people from a lot of different places tuning in. So we have Noranda, Didio, Val d'Or, Brigham, Laurentians, Pierrefonds, Morin Heights, Laval, Dorval, Rigaud, Il Bizarre.
Okay, so all Montreal.
Yeah, we're all over the place. Great. So just so you, yeah.
Up here, oh, they turned out the lights. Oh,
Oh, they
lights
turned it
were
off?
on before.
Okay, well, see if we can get a peek.
Sometimes the lights were on before. No, this is the gallery, but maybe from here, can you see something?
Oh, there's a weird reflection, but I don't know if you could see some of the artworks, but these were done by students here.
And you can go maybe in the there's some drawings in the,
So this is for our arts department. Here's some drawings. So we have a student here who wants to tell you about our communications, arts media program.
Okay, so hi, I'm Melissa. I'm a second year communication student. Wait, so what do I talk about?
so what kind of courses do you take?
Okay, so in the communications program, you can do drawing, painting, graphic design, photography, you can do theater, like everything. That's what I really like about this program. We also have the student-run gallery, the Henry Lehman Gallery. So the students all run it. Students get they make really, really good drawings like you saw before, and they get put in the gallery and it gets put on your resume, so it's a certified gallery. So it helps getting into university since you are commissioned as an artist in a gallery. The teachers here are really, really nice. They're not like any of the other teachers in the school. They're more like laid back, and you like get to know the teachers really well, and you get to like become kind of like friends and stuff like that. Yeah. You work hard, but like it pays off really well. So yeah, that's great.
Great, thank you. Is there anything else to add? About that? No, it's good.
There's some more stuff for you to
Oh,
follow there.
yeah. More artworks. Oh wow, this is impressive.
So the self-portrait class. I know who that is.
Oh, I know who that is too. I recognize her.
Rachel.
Okay,
So maybe we can just talk about transportation since we were talking,
Yeah.
since people were in the surrounding area.
exactly. So there's a lot of people from all over Montreal and different shores. So
So
yeah, talk about transportation. Really.
So where we're situated is in Saint Laurent, and we're very close to two metro lines, du Collège and Côte Vertu, and so really easy to get here. And then once you get here, it's maybe a 5-10 minute walk to get onto campus. So it's very easy, pretty quick, and students really do come from everywhere. Anything else you wanted to add?
Part of financial aid with student services, where we just spoke with Sarah, we do have residences. They're not our residences, but they're shared with Cégep Saint-Laurent, which is our neighbor. So if students are looking for places to live, we do have someone to help them find a place to live, either an apartment or with Cégep Saint-Laurent's residences. So we're very multicultural here. As I've shown you downstairs, we have the Resource Center for Indigenous students. We have all kinds of events in honor of Black History Month, in honor of Chinese New Year that we just had last week.
We have 72 different types of ethnicities and cultural backgrounds here at Vanier, so we truly are from everywhere in the world.
Yeah. So no matter where you come from, you'll feel comfortable here, that's for sure. We also actually, we try to accommodate as many students as possible. We actually recently installed gender-neutral washrooms and changing rooms in the sports complex, so that it's in a safe and discrimination-free environment. So we're going to go off to the Task and STEM Center. This is part of our library. Our library was also recently renovated. So as you can see, like a couple of years ago, last year and the year before, Vanier was a construction zone, basically. But now pretty much everything is ready. We're going to show you some newly renovated labs as well. But first we'll go to the library, and we're going to meet with Harry Tos Cavalos, who is the coordinator of the Learning Commons, which encompasses the library, the Task Center, which stands for Tutoring and Academic Success Center, and the STEM Center, which is for students in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
So just so you know, Vanier has 5 floors. So that's why you see us sporadically moving from floor to floor and location to location. So we're currently on the 3rd floor. This is where communications is, social science, the library, and so on. So we're just headed to the library. If you should be somebody who can't go up and down the stairs, needs an elevator, you get a special pass through student services, and they will give you a special pass to ride up and down the elevators. We also have the N building. The N building is not far from here. We're not going to go there today just because of logistics, but it's there, as well as the phys ed complex as well is outside.
So we made it to the library. I'll show you the inside quick. Isn't it beautiful? Very modern, very nice space. It's 3 floors, our library, so it's a lot of student space for students. And we have here Harry Tos explain to you about the Learning Commons.
Great, so hello everybody. Thank you, my name is Harry. I'm going to keep this brief, but I'll give you guys a glimpse of everything to do with the Learning Commons. So we'll start off with the STEM Center. This is just follow me, I'll lead you guys to it. This is our Science, Technology, Engineering, Mathematics Center. It's basically inspired from our previous Math and Science Center, and the idea here is that we created this space where we hope to create, to encourage collaboration in different projects. So even though we call it a STEM center, it is in fact open to all students of the college. As you can see, the setup is designed such that it encourages group work. We encourage students to come here, get together, work on projects, talk. It's a louder space by design, and we want it to be that way. Although at this hour it's quite quiet and probably disturbing. Sorry everybody. But this space is also home to our robotics team. So if you just follow me, I'll show you guys our center. So for those of you who are aware of CRC, it's a robotics competition that we take part in every year. This is our home base. It's a little messy right now because we just came back from the competition a few weeks ago. But in addition to being the house of the robotics team, this is also a place where students can get involved in applied learning. So if you're interested to kind of get your hands dirty and work on projects that involve building things, dismantling things, tinkering things, this is a place to do it. And it doesn't seem like much now because, like I said, we're coming back from a competition, but this space will be retrofitted with some new equipment next semester, come fall 2018. To make it a bit more dynamic, wanted to be a creative space where it's more than just hands-on work. It's also a place where you can perhaps design stuff on a computer, 3D print objects, and much more. So to come later on. So from here, we'll take you guys to the library proper and give you a tour of what that space is like. Oh, one thing I should mention, the STEM Center is one of the centers in the Learning Commons that stays open until 10 o'clock at night. So if by chance you are taking evening courses or you're just looking for a place to study beyond or regular hours, this is the place to be.
Sorry, Haritos, I just got a couple questions here.
Yes.
So someone asked what the N building is for, and another person wrote eating Subway sandwiches. Yes, the N building has a Subway in it. It's part of the cafeteria, and the N building holds a bunch of other classrooms. In fact, most of our labs are in there for certain career programs. So we won't have time to go see it today, but you can always stop by the college and come visit it. So Harry, sorry, continue with the library.
All right. So come on in. So welcome to the library proper. This is one of the spaces that probably has had the biggest renovation in the last few years. So what to show you here? Well, first of all, this is the main floor. So as you could expect with most libraries, we have a circulation desk where students can get access to laptops, iPads, textbook reserves, different media. And on the other side here, we have seating space for students who are looking to work in a quiet environment. So people can talk here, but we encourage quieter study. So some students prefer that, and this is kind of one environment we've created for them. At the very back there, we have a beautiful mezzanine area where students and staff can have access to periodicals, so different magazines that we collect over the course of the year. We have access to reference books, dictionaries, and different things that students might need to use. So from here, we'll just go across to the Tutoring and Academic Success Center. So the Tutoring and Academic Success Center, or TASC for short, is, as you would expect, a center where we offer academic support to students. So if you're taking English courses, which all of you inevitably will, or you're taking math and science courses, which some of you will, this is a place where you can get tutoring. So tutoring is actually given by students who have taken the courses, done well, or are currently taking the courses. And there's also teachers that volunteer time to spend in this center and help students as well. So this is, unfortunately, it's late now, so the space is quite quiet and closed. But normally it's a pretty vibrant space. It's also another space where we encourage peer-to-peer help. It's a louder space. It tends to be quite busy during the semester. At the very back, we have a literacy room. So maybe some of you are familiar with this concept, the idea of librarians giving sessions to help students become more familiar with what a library is, what the resources are, how to access them. And that's very helpful for people that are doing research, which, again, you guys might be doing later on at some point.
Someone just asked if we have access to e-journals.
Yes, we do. We have access to a number of journals, databases, and actually electronic textbooks as well. So we're hoping to have a growing collection in the future, but we actually have access to quite a bit of things already. So all of that is definitely available.
Thank you.
All right. So for the sake of time, I'll keep it short, but another thing I want to mention here is that we also have a writing center that we're developing at the very back. And what we want to do with this center, it's a new center actually, it's a new concept, and we want to create an environment where students can get help with their writing, so working with a learning specialist and teachers, but also a place where you can celebrate writing, so a place where you can go and take part in competitions, take part in games, and kind of interact with writing in a more fun way beyond just academics. And the very last thing here is number of offices. So these offices are shared by a number of professionals in this space, and these professionals basically help students with the various programs that we run here, whether it be the activities that we run, whether it be the tutoring program, the writing center, etc. In a normal day, we're all here, and you can find us if ever you have any questions, and we'd be happy to help you.
Thank you, Harry.
You're welcome. Do we have time to go upstairs, or?
7:43. We still have 3 more places to visit.
Up to you.
I'll ask Marlene.
All right.
We also got a question here.
Yes.
Do we have? Oh no, it's for us. Well, do we have an architectural programs? Yes, we have an architectural program. It's a 3-year technical program. The classrooms and labs are actually in the end building, which we won't see today. But yes, we have an architectural program. It's actually unique to Vanier College in the English CJEP system. Marlene, do we have space to go upstairs at the library?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we'll keep it
So
fast.
let's do it.
All right, let's go.
The 5th floor is actually the prettiest
Yeah,
one.
that's where we're going to kind of skip ahead to. I'll give you guys a quick glimpse of the 4th floor, but we won't really spend much time in there. The 4th floor is actually where we house most of our physical collections. So all of our books, you can typically find most of them on this floor. We also have a reference desk as you walk up here, so if ever you are looking for help from a librarian, you get your research help right here. And we also have access to a number of computers on this floor. It's hard to see from this angle, but we have about 36 computers on this floor. And we have computers kind of spread out throughout the Learning Commons, and they're freely accessible to any student of the college. So we'll skip to the interesting part, because I think, in my opinion, this is the most beautiful floor, and you folks can judge for yourselves. So the 5th floor, this is the very top part of the library. As you can see, with the construction, we've retained a lot of the old architecture. We've created an open space where students can study in groups. So this is where we encourage that sort of collaboration. As you can see, we have different kinds of seating. So if you're looking to work with your friends on a table surface, you have a number of those on this side. We have more comfy chairs for students who are looking to pick up a book, maybe read something, work on their assignments. And we also have lounge chairs at the very back that can be moved around and reconfigured depending on what sort of learning, studying the students want to be doing. So this is it. I have the Sheldon Kagan collection on one side. So this is a donation that was made to us about 2 years ago, I believe. And with it, we've inherited a number of vinyls that students can actually have access to and play any given time, as long as they're in the library space. What else can I tell you? Any questions?
Actually, someone asked about. Someone said beautiful space. Thank you for the compliment.
Great.
Someone asked. Sorry. Someone asked about the music program, actually. So since we're in this area, it's appropriate. But we did go see the music students play earlier downstairs. The music program is offered as a 2-year program, also as double decks with science, social science, and languages and cultures. And there's a 3-year program for the music program as well. It's called Professional Music and Song Techniques. So, where to next? Someone asked if we have a teaching degree.
If they have a teacher, okay, so I can answer that one.
Okay, Marlene?
So basically, to be able to teach Vanier, you need to have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree minimum in the area you want to teach. So for example, for me, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's degree in educational psychology, and I got a degree here. So minimum qualification is a bachelor and master in the discipline you'd like to teach in, and sometimes a PhD.
Okay, and someone also asked about our law program.
Law program, Mark? Sorry.
It's
Question about the law program.
It's part of the social sciences. It's
That's
part
right.
of social sciences, the major called Law and Society. Students interested in law also tend to go into liberal arts as well because they teach a lot of critical thinking. But Mark, if you want to elaborate
That's
on
right.
that.
So it's social sciences or liberal arts programs. Again, law doesn't have a specific background that students need to go into, but most cases students will go into a social science program or, again, a liberal arts program. And there is a law and society major, although it doesn't obviously mean that you're a lawyer. It does, in fact, give you some courses that have the themes of law and crime and punishment at your disposal. So you'll be able to learn about some of these courses and themes that you would eventually go into in law school and university. At times, students will actually go into law directly from CEGEP. That could happen as well. And Vanier's got the programs to help you with that. If not, in some cases, you'll go for an undergraduate degree first, the bachelor's program, and then apply for a law program as well. So.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so here, I'll give you a look of the library once again, because it's so pretty. Thank you, Harry, for your time.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And let's head back downstairs.
Can we maybe get out of the fifth floor?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
up. Oh, yeah, I guess
Oh,
I can mention
yes.
this. I forgot
Yeah.
about this as we're walking out of here. We also have access to 5 study rooms. So this is part of the new concept as well. If you're looking for a place to do some group work, because you have a team project or something, and you want a quieter, more secluded space to do your work, we have 5 study rooms that can be booked downstairs, and you can have access to them at any given time. So yeah, that's the grand overview. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Harry.
My pleasure.
Have a good evening. Okay, so we're on the 5th floor now because, as you saw, we walked up the stairs of the library. Do you want to do the?
We can go ahead and do the chemistry, or we can go down one floor.
We'll go down. We'll go down one floor since we're right here. Yeah. Oops. Sorry, I'm losing my papers. Okay, so now we're going to be going down to the nursing lab, which is also another one of our recently renovated labs. We recently got high fidelity mannequins for our nursing and respiratory and anesthesia students to practice on. We got a question here. If someone is interested in athletic therapy or physio, which program do they start in? My suggestion would be to do health science, so you can get your physics, chemistry, and math prerequisites needed for university to then pursue a career in athletic therapy or physio. But Mark, do you have any other suggestions?
No, that's exactly.
That's pretty much
Then
it,
you
eh?
have Health sciences will prepare you for that with
Yeah.
the organic one and the bio too. So.
Also,
Taking it the wrong way.
nursing.
See.
We got lost. Okay. Okay. We're going to D. So yeah. Otherwise, if you're looking into going to Dawson, Dawson has a physio program. But I would look into information on that because we don't have that information here. We also got another question about prerequisites. What are the minimum requirements to apply to Explorations prerequisites? Future intended program is Peer and Applied Science.
Okay, so we usually, the admissions to transition or explorations, the grades are, it's basically we emulate the science program cutoff, so you have to be within those ranges usually as well. So we're looking at usually high 70s, 80s as well, preferably for students who are considering going into a transition program. And once you're in the program, you actually have to maintain a fairly high average so that you can in fact make a bid for a science program. So yeah, usually when you're going into a transition program, you want to keep your grades at the same level that they're asking for the specific intended program.
Thank you, Mark. So we made it to the respiratory and anesthesia area, as well as the nursing area. So these are our health-based technical programs here at Vanier. So we're going to go into the nursing lab, which has the new fidelity mannequins. We recently inaugurated it in December, actually. So now there's a lot of different ways that students can learn. So they're going to be learning with mannequins that talk, that move, that blink, their pupils dilate. It's actually really interesting. In fact, Vanier Television has a video on a simulation that we did recently. So let's get into the lab. So this is one of our mannequins. Her name is Susie. She's asleep at the moment. Susie also has 2 kids, Hal and Tori. Here they are. So This is the area that nursing and respiratory anesthesia students will be doing simulation labs. This mirror here is actually a window on the other side, so your teachers can observe you. So there you have it. Now let's go see another lab, which is our chemistry lab. We got a question regarding minimum overall average for computer science and math. So the minimum average for that program specifically last year was a 78%. That's correct?
Sorry.
78% for computer science and mathematics
Computer
last
science,
year.
yes,
Yeah.
I believe so. I actually have the grade
Oh,
here.
good. He has his notes.
So that's fine for computer science and mathematics. We were looking at 78% overall and 75% in the math, 68% in the physics, and 65% in the chemistry. So that's how the breakdown occurs. So there is
There
a
you
little bit more of a reliance on the math, 75,
Right.
but 78 overall.
Okay, so hopefully that answered your question, Grace. So, okay, let's where to next?
We're going to
The
go
chemistry.
We're going to go up to the chemistry lab.
Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of other labs that we have here at Vanier. As mentioned, there's some in the N building. For example, we have the program Animal Health Technology. So there's a lab there for the animals.
That's an N building.
Yeah, that's an N building.
Yeah, do you want to take the staircase or the other
Which
staircase?
staircase should we take? No, that one. Yeah. So there's the Animal Health Technology in the N building. There's also Environmental and Wildlife Management in the N building as well. In fact, the Environmental and Wildlife Management has a field station in the Laurentians in La Chute, where students spend their final year, the summer and fall months. Over there, and their classroom is basically a forest, which is really interesting. They get to have hands-on experience with plants, with animals, and everything like that. We also have labs for computer engineering and industrial electronics. So we have top-of-the-line equipment over there. And we have a lab for early childhood education in the N building as well, which is actually a mock daycare. So students, once again, have the chance to observe and to learn in practical manners. We are currently walking through the languages department. So languages department holds trips, not only just trips from the languages department, but there's also trips for other departments. I don't know, Marlene, if you want to speak about that.
Yes, so we have International Education Department here that sponsors many trips. Last year, I led with a couple of other teachers a trip to Austria and Italy related to the Symposium on the Holocaust and Genocide. And this year, I'm actually leading another trip with another couple of teachers to Greece and talking about the history of the Holocaust and genocide in Greece. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's after the semester finishes, so it's a nice way for everybody to just relax. It's in Greece for 11 days. So we're all looking forward to it very much.
Thanks, Marlene. Oh, someone wrote, I missed the first 20 minutes. Did you discuss anything about school athletics? Oh, yes, you're the one who had emailed me. I recognize your name. Okay, so yes, we have a sport études program here at Vanier. Mark, if you just wanted to repeat what you said in the beginning, sorry.
Yes, so the Sport Études program at Vanier is, again, it's done with the Association des Sports Études, so you have to be eligible for both the college. For Vanier College, you need to meet the requirements of the Vanier College program that you want to go into, as well as Association, Association Sport Études. So you have to also make sure that the level of sport that you're in is at the association's level as well. So students, once you're eligible for both Vanier and the association, you're accepted to Vanier and you start your studies. Now the program at Vanier, we actually help students with their schedule so that we could basically try to accommodate their training schedule. So teachers are notified that students are in Sport Études, and so you could basically get some special treatment with regards to handing in some of the your research.
Oh, okay, we're back. sorry. I hope we didn't lose a couple of you. Oh, someone put a sad face. I'm sorry. I lost reception. Okay, so in case you missed what Mark said.
Yeah, sure. So you have to be eligible for both Vanier and the Association of Sport Ed. Once you come into Vanier, then we actually help you make schedules that will take your training schedule into consideration. So sometimes students will need a morning off, so you can register for courses in the afternoon, or vice versa. Sometimes you may train in the afternoon. You may require your early mornings or early afternoons to be free of classes. We do this by giving students priority registration. They actually register 1 day before actual registration begins, so that they can accommodate their training schedules.
Thank you, Mark. She also mentioned playing sports for Vanier teams. So I can talk about that. Our Vanier team is the Cheetahs, and we have a lot of sports for students. We have for men, for example. Sorry, let me get my notes. Where is it? Okay, so for men, we've got football Division 1. We've got basketball Division 1 and 2. We have soccer Division 1 and rugby. For women, we have basketball Division 1, soccer Division 2, rugby, flag football, and we recently got volleyball Division 2. And we also have a cheerleading team, which is for both men and women. So that is the athletic opportunities that you have here. There's also volunteer opportunities all over the college. So as you saw, there was in the task center, in the STEM center for the robotics team. There's the VCSA, which is the Vanier College Student Association. They organize all kinds of events at the college. There's also VTV, Vanier Television, where we have students make videos for us, and our broadcast is all over our social media. So we've made it to our last stop. Our last stop is the chemistry lab, which will be inaugurated in March. So it hasn't been used yet by students, which is why it's so clean. So let's take a look at it. Here, let me just get my card. Okay, here we go. Brand new. You are the first to see this room, just letting you know. I know it's 8 o'clock, we've passed our little deadline, but I just had to show you this because a lot of people are interested in the sciences. So this is one of the classrooms. For science students, there's about 30 to 40 students in a classroom, and the labs accommodate about half of that, and everyone works in pairs. What else is there? We have a question about intramural sports. Yes, we have intramural sports at Vanier College. You can get in contact with, her name is May. May or Helen are in charge of the sports and sports complex. So I hope I didn't miss any other questions, but time is up. It is 8:01 p.m., so I don't want to keep you any longer. If you do have any questions, you can always email at info@vaniercollege.qc.ca. You can follow us on our social medias, so on the social media that you're currently looking at right now, the Vanier College page, or you can follow Vanier Television, which is on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. So everyone say hi. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. Does anyone have any last words or?
Good luck.